Defend yourself against DDoS attacks by hiding your true IP address with ExpressVPN, and visit my custom link expressvpn.com/ghilliemaster in the description to find out how you can get an extra 3 months free. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another GTA Online video here on the channel. Today I want to talk about some quality of life changes. Usually in each GTA Online update we get a few of them. In this video I'll be going over about 6 or 7 that I think the community would very much appreciate and why they would be good for the game as a whole, and that are hopefully added in a future update, whether that's the summer update coming up or beyond. So the first one is an easier way to eat snacks in vehicles. In last year's summer update, Rockstar gave us a much easier way to eat snacks to heal up on foot using the weapon wheel. However, when you're in a vehicle, it's still kind of just a pain in the ass to get the snack menu out to heal up in a pinch while also trying to focus on driving at the same time. I think there could be some improvement here, much like the on foot method. Maybe in the vehicle you hold down X or square, which is the button used to switch weapons in a vehicle, and while it's being held, if you hit up on the D-pad, you can eat snacks the same way you would on foot with the new method. And you can also equip armor with the right stick just like you would on foot. What's funny about this though is during heist missions, if you switch weapons while in a vehicle, the prompt actually comes up to eat snacks and use armor this way, but it doesn't actually work. It's just the UI that comes up. I think a lot of people would appreciate something like this being added because we've all been in that situation where a cop car crashes into you or an enemy vehicle crashes into you, and you get shredded while you're trying to quickly scroll through the 15 different subsections of the interaction menu to get to the snacks, where with an easier method you would have survived and had the time to do it. Up next, another quality of life update I want to see is more hangar space. Yes, I'm bringing this up again because we, for some reason, still haven't gotten more. I've been putting this on my list of quality of life changes ever since like 2019. We need more hangar space. Recently, we got the 50-car garage for storing regular cars, and about every update, we get another property slot to store even more vehicles, but we never get any space to store more aircraft. Why? I'm going to take a guess and say we won't get any more car space in this next update just because that 50-car garage is likely to hold us over. Even if you were to buy every car in this next update, there's not going to be 50 new cars, I could tell you that much. But maybe they will still add one, I could be wrong. Anyways, my idea is this: allow us to buy a second hangar. And with that second hangar purchase, it just expands our storage capacity of our hangar by 20 or 30 more aircraft. And that would likely hold us over for the entirety of the game's life cycle, considering we're lucky if we get maybe one aircraft every update. But not only that, the second hangar purchase will streamline your hangar business. Because with my concept, having that second hangar would allow you to start hangar supply missions from either hangar you choose, and while on those supply missions, sometimes you have to go a long way to get back all the way to your hangar, but if you had 2 hangars, let's just say one at LSIA and one at Zancudo, you would now have the option of bringing the cargo to either hangar you want. So whichever one is closer to you at the time, you could drop it off there. And this would make supply missions much less of a hassle as a perk of owning 2 hangars. The cargo supply would be the same in each hangar, and you'd be able to sell from either hangar you want as well. And after the sell missions are done, you would also have the ability to bring the aircraft to either hangar for more RP instead of having to take it all the way back to the one you started from. So in short, you would essentially have 2 separate safe houses to dump your hangar cargo and start the sell missions from, along with having more hangar space to store more aircraft, which is a big improvement to the hangar business, which is, I believe, still underutilized even after the buff, and an answer to a big community request to have more aircraft storage. Third improvement is an overhaul to the vehicle spawning system. In free mode nowadays, at least in public free mode, you're kind of forced to drive an armored car or weaponized vehicle to not get blown up by some random player. There's not really any incentive to drive regular cars anymore, so I personally think there should be no cooldown for calling in regular non-weaponized vehicles. The 2-minute cooldown should only apply to weaponized cars and other armored vehicles, but regular cars you should be able to spawn in as often as you want with no wait time. I don't see any issue with that, and I tend to think most people would agree with me on that. On top of that though, I think there could be some streamlining in how vehicles are spawned in general. When you're close to your current vehicle and want to call in another one, you have to first go to the interaction menu and return to storage. Otherwise, it will say your vehicle is already nearby when you try calling in your vehicle from your mechanic. Why is this process not just done automatically? The moment I click on another vehicle to call in, it should just automatically despawn the other one and spawn in the new one. I shouldn't have to back out of the call and do it myself through the interaction menu. It should just do it by itself. It would make the system so much more user-friendly in my opinion, doing 2 steps in one move instead of making us do it. And the final thing with vehicle spawns, why do they take so long to appear? Just spawn them in instantly. The amount of times I've gotten killed during the moment I call in the vehicle and the moment it arrives, so when I spawn in after death, I have to wait the 2-minute cooldown again and the vehicle isn't spawned in, is way too many to count. It's just annoying at the end of the day. We already know it's possible for this to happen. MCs can spawn in bikes instantly nearby, so I don't know why it's not just streamlined for regular cars from the mechanic as well. But with all these combined, all the vehicle spawn changes, I think the entire system would be vastly improved. This next one is a small improvement that would go a long way. the Mors Mutual insurance calls. When you have multiple vehicles destroyed from different garages, why are we only allowed to do one property at a time? They did used to have a claim all option, but that was taken away because of a money glitch, I believe, a long time ago. But there's got to be an easier way aside from calling Mors Mutual, getting one vehicle back, hanging up, calling again, getting another one back, and repeating the process until you have all your cars back. Why can you only get one at a time per phone call? It just turns into such a hassle when it used to be done with one button press a long time ago, getting all the blown up vehicles back. This one has to be a top requested feature for sure. I know a lot of people are annoyed with the current system and want to claim all button back, so hopefully this is something that changes in the future. Now this is something that hasn't made sense for a long time now. What is going on with this bad sport and insurance claim system? A while ago they changed it to where weaponized cars maxed out at 10k for insurance premiums and non-weaponized cars maxed out at 20k, and the bad sport system has always made no sense to me, honestly. We'll talk about insurance first. When the UNEDITED vehicles were added into the game, you can weaponize these cars and put RC car functionality in them. However, when you blow them up, they cost 20k even though they're weaponized. What's up with that? They're weaponized cars. Why am I paying 20k for blowing up a weaponized UNEDITED car from someone? And that also leads me into the bad sports section. If someone comes after me in an RC and UNEDITED vehicle trying to kill me, there is no driver in that vehicle. I have to blow it up. That's the only way to stop it. But when I do blow it up, I'm charged $20,000 and I get bad sport for defending myself against a weaponized RC car that I can only blow up to stop. That's bullshit. Or if I'm getting spawn camped by an enemy jet, why do I get bad sport points for defending myself and shooting the asshole out of the sky, blowing up their personal aircraft? That's super backwards. So I've come up with an overhaul for this entire bad sport and insurance system, and you better look out because we're stepping into the kitchen and I'm about to start cooking. So first thing, get rid of bad sport for blowing up weaponized vehicles. You can keep the insurance claim on them at 10k for when you destroy your own vehicle, but the main issue is getting penalized with bad sport for defending yourself. How does that classify as bad sport behavior? And if two parties are fighting in weaponized vehicles, well, that's the name of the game. If two parties are dogfighting, why give bad sport for players PvPing doing what the vehicle's intended purpose is? It just never made sense. Second thing, UNEDITED cars should be classed as weaponized vehicles so that this takes away the bad sport penalty like in step 1 if that were implemented and lowers the insurance to 10k from 20k. Number 3, when RC and UNEDITED cars are blown up, they should not cost anything to the person that did blow them up, as that's the only way you can stop them from attacking you. And because they are classed as weaponized vehicles now, assuming this is implemented, they're not going to give you bad sport points either. The game should be able to check whether or not the vehicle is being driven by an RC mode when blown up to determine the insurance cost, or whether or not to give a charge for the insurance. And number 4, for non-weaponized vehicles, bad sport penalties when blown up should be double of what they are now and operate on a linear scale with time. So for example, the first vehicle you blow up will give you 5 bad sport points, let's just say. From that point, a behind-the-scenes 2-minute timer starts that you can't see anywhere. The next non-weaponized vehicle you blow up in that time limit will give you 8 bad sport points and reset the timer. If you blow up another one in 2 minutes, that's 11 bad sport points awarded. And the cycle continues to a maximum of 20 points to throw out a number, let's just say. If you don't blow up another non-weaponized car in the 2 minutes though, the penalty will then go back down to the original 5. This would do 2 things. Mainly, it would make people think twice before going on a rampage destroying every vehicle in sight, and it would deter people from using explosives against regular cars, which would hopefully in turn make them a bit more useful to drive in free mode, especially in combination with the abolished cooldown for regular cars that I discussed earlier in this video. And let's just give the hypothetical situation. Say you're having a car show and some guy decides, you know what, I'm going to be a complete asshole and blow up the cars. Every single one of the car, I'm blowing them up. Well, with the new system, that would be a pretty much instant sentence to bad sport, as it should be. And really the goal of the entire insurance and bad sport rework here would be to let people have fun killing each other in weaponized vehicles without penalties in a way that makes sense for all parties involved, and heavily discourage blowing up regular cars. Let me know what you guys think about this new bad sport concept in the comments. Perhaps it should have been its own video, but I figured I'd just include it here. The final 2 I'm going to discuss today aren't as big as that one. How about giving the Acid Lab delivery bike a lock-on jammer? For some reason, this is a land cell mission vehicle that can be locked onto with homing missiles, so if a Deluxo just gets to lock on you, you're dead because you can't dodge those. And that's a bit weird to me because cell mission vehicles on land usually you aren't able to lock onto. Having this as an upgrade would be nice, and we already know it's possible for them to put lock-on jammers on certain vehicles that they want to. They've done so with the Weaponized Ignis, so having one for a cell mission vehicle as an upgrade should be a given. But even outside the cell missions, having this be a bike with a lock-on jammer would make it very unique. And the last quality of life update I want to see is a better player ghosting system. I'm not talking about ghost organization. so don't get that confused. I'm talking about the feature where if a player kills you a few times without you killing them back, you have the option of ghosting to that player, which makes it so they can't kill you for 5 or so minutes. It's an anti-griefer measure, basically. If someone is just constantly trying to kill you and you don't want to engage with them. Instead of going passive and not being able to do anything, you can just ghost to that player specifically. However, it doesn't really work at all because all that player has to do is put a bounty on you, and that breaks the ghost and allows them to kill you again. So the feature is pointless because of that. It doesn't do anything. Just look at this clip here. This guy was killing me in God mode, so I went ghost to him so he couldn't kill me, and all he had to do was put a bounty on me and he was able to kill me again. It's very stupid, kind of a half-assed implementation. So just make it so that even if a player puts a bounty on you, that person you're ghosted to is still unable to kill you. I don't see how it's too much to ask, really. Now, there are probably many more quality of life changes out there that would be useful for GTA Online, like removing the orbital cannon, but those are the ones that I came up with for today's video that I feel would improve the game. Let me know some quality of life changes that you guys would like to see in the next update or any future update down in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like as well as subscribe to my channel for more GTA Online content. I want to give a huge shout out to all my channel members for your support. If you'd like to become a member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching, and have a great day.